You smell like cheap cologne. You know, it doesn't have to be a bad thing to hear that. In fact, cheap doesn't have to mean bad. Cheap can mean inexpensive, which means you're smart because you save money and the cologne you smell like can still smell incredible. Hi everybody, this is Blueprint by Adam Hurly. I'm Adam Hurly. I am a grooming journalist. I have been for over a decade now for outlets like GQ, Men's Journal, Forbes Vetted, Rob Report, and Blueprint is where I put all of my experience and expertise into one place for you. I am going to cover 11 of my absolute favorites in this video, and because there are so many to cover, I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible. But remember, you can find links to all of them below. One big disclaimer. As a grooming editor, I receive pretty much every product for free. It is my job to test as many of these things out to make informed decisions and recommendations for your benefit. First up is from Malin and Goetz. This is their leather eau de parfum. Malin and Goetz has a lot of terrific parfums. This is from their Vices category. Another one I really love from them is Cannabis. This one to me is one of the absolute most wearable leather fragrances. It's not overwhelmingly leather. It is something you can wear probably as a signature scent year-round, but I just find it extremely approachable despite the fact that it really does rely heavily on those leather notes. I think the orchid notes in it are what really gives it the nuance and the balance to be so wearable in all situations. Next on my list from St. John's is their Vetiver cologne. They have a number of really straightforward, uncomplicated colognes. I always feel like I'm on the island of St. John's when I wear any one of them. However, to me, Vetiver is their pinnacle, their absolute best. This one is so clean, it's so wearable, it's so refreshing. I say this positively. It has the simplicity of an aftershave cologne. It is really, really delicious, and I think you will absolutely love it. I also find it really easy to layer. If you just want one little remix of whatever it is you're already wearing, Vetiver is easy to just put on top of that or below that, and you'll get some new beautiful expression from the combination. Next up is from Fulton and Roark, and this is the Ramble solid cologne. Full disclosure, Fulton and Roark did sponsor our signature scents video, and I did shout out Ramble in that video. However, I chose Ramble in that video because it is genuinely one of my absolute favorite fragrances. They have not sponsored this video, but while their fragrances that you spray on are in the more fine fragrance price tier, the solid only costs you 60 bucks. This is oak mossy. It's so beautiful. It's like a forest bath. I sometimes even dwizzle a little bit into my mustache when I have a mustache. I just shaved it off for another video. But you just apply a little at your pulse points. It's also really easy to layer. This one fits right in your pocket if you want to touch up on the go. It is so beautiful, so clean, so fresh. Fulton and Roark, you knocked it out of the park. Next up is from Issey Miyake. This is Celle d'Issey. I don't know if I can get the name to appear. This is the last fragrance that Issey Miyake worked on before he passed away. And while there are a number of fantastic fragrances under this label for men, for women, I think this one will hold court with that all-time classic L'Eau d'Issey pour homme. This one is sea salt, it's got marine notes, it's very fresh, very aquatic. There are also some seaweed notes in there, which is strange, but it does not smell strange, which is strange. Anyway, this is such a beautiful, fresh expression. I called it one of my absolute favorite fragrances of 2024. It's mostly aquatic with a pinch of spice and wood, but it is so exquisite. Speaking of aquatic, woody scents, the next on this list is from Huron, and this is Sea Salt and Driftwood. It's all in the name. You've got the salty marine notes, you've got the driftwood, there's a little bit of cardamom, there's some mandarin. It's a beautiful expression, extremely affordable. Currently, Huron has 4 fragrances in their lineup. They smell like an aftershave cologne, but they perform all day long. Huron is a really unsung hero in this category, but they have a huge cult following, and I encourage you to join it. If you made it this far in the video, I would really appreciate if you could give us a thumbs up, if you could subscribe to our channel. And speaking of subscribe, we also have a free Blueprint by Adam Hurly newsletter. I send that out weekly. This is where I'm talking about the latest grooming news, the best products, the coolest brands. So be sure to subscribe at grooming.tips or click the link below. Next is Guy Fawkes Primo. This one is Cuban cigars. It is spicy, it is rum, it is all the vices. And from that description, trust me, it smells as incredible and as sultry as you would hope and imagine. This one is really commanding, it is really stirring, it is really confident, but above all, it is really wearable and approachable. It probably suits cold weather or date nights, those sorts of things. Maybe not an office scent, but for those occasions, it is not a steep investment, but it is a really wonderful payoff. Beautiful. Primo. Well named. Next up is the newest of this entire roster. This is from Finery. Finery is a Target exclusive brand. They started with a bunch of women's perfumes and now they have a bunch of new men's colognes that they launched with. Truth be told, not all of those scents on the men's side is terrific. I mean, these are really, really cost accessible fragrances. They are under $30 as of the time of recording this. That said, I do believe that Ultra is the ultra best option of the pick, enough so that it made this list against a ton of other candidates. This one is both spicy and sweet. It has black pepper and pineapple, and it's those pineapple notes that really punctuate through. It's more wearable because of the spicy pepper notes, but it is more nuanced and interesting because of those sweet pineapple notes. So it's not overly sweet, it's definitely more spicy, but you could wear this year round, you could layer it really easily. I find it really delightful. And again, it is available only at Target. Next on my list, one of the greatest classic scents of all time. This is the EDT of Homme from Dior. It is so beautiful. I think this one is perhaps the most wearable classic cologne in the world. It smells so good on just about everybody. It is a terrific first cologne. It is a terrific signature scent. It is a terrific cheap cologne. There is no shame in wearing something as mass market as this. I do hold it as high as Bleu de Chanel as one of the absolute best, winningest across the board. Cedar, vetiver, patchouli. It is so good. Now let's go from one of the most legacy French labels to one of the newest French labels. This is Horace, or Horace as we'd say in the US. It is Oud Rose, the second scent from this wonderful brand, following the launch of their And Horace fragrance, which they describe as the white t-shirt of their fragrances. It's really simple. However, Oud Rose is the leopard print blazer that you might wear over that white t-shirt. I know this will shock you, but its key notes are oud and rose. But it also has this really artistic and playful melange of patchouli, rosemary, and cypriol. It is the perfect counterpoint to that brand's foundational fragrance. To me, this just means that Horace has so many more tricks up those leopard print sleeves, and I am really tuned into what's next. Speaking of brands that I am tuned into for whatever they launch, Vacation. This is Vacation's After Sun Eau de Toilette. This is the second scent from them. It follows up their sunscreen scented fragrance, which was also named Vacation. And this one is the After Sun aloe gel that you might apply to yourself. And sure enough, one of its key notes is aloe. Consider it for a signature scent if you want. It is so delicious. I think I saved the least expensive for last. This is from Nautica Blue, the Eau de Toilette. It's musk, it's sandalwood, there's a pinch of pineapple and basil in there. You really can't go wrong. It is also wonderful for layering. It's wonderful if you just want to wear something around the house after you shower and you want to smell as good and as fresh as you feel. Just spritz some of this on. It's more landlocked than their other scents. However, it is as uplifting and mind-clearing as any of their aquatic scents. That does it for all 11 cheap colognes. Again, it doesn't have to be a diss to be told that you smell like cheap cologne. In fact, it might mean that you are just smart and economical. So you can have good taste and you don't have to spend a lot of money. And that is the ethos here at Blueprint. Sometimes we talk about the expensive stuff. I just don't want you to think that you have to buy into the expensive stuff in order to look or feel great, especially if you are trying to build a habit, whether that's wearing a fragrance every day or committing to a hair loss regimen or even to a skincare routine. I want to know from you, which of these colognes, if any, are you a fan of? Which ones do you not like? Which ones that I haven't mentioned are your favorites? Maybe some other ones from the brands that I've covered here. You can also find links for every product mentioned in the description of this video below. And before I go, remember you can subscribe to the Blueprint newsletter below or at grooming.tips. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel to keep the grooming content coming. Take care, guys. See you next time.